Samsaradava nanalitya loka Tranaya karunya gana ganatvam Prapatsya kalyana gunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditramadyan Manasura Sena Romanchakampa Shutaranga Bajo Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Shri Vigraharadhana Nityanana Shingaratan Mandiramarjanado Yuktasya Bhaktamsha Niyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Chaturveda Shri Bhagavat Prasada Swadana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangan Kritvaiva Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Shri Radhika Madhavayorapara Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Namnam Pratikshana Swadanalolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Nikunjayuno Ratikeli Siddhai Yayali Biruk Tirapekshaniya Tatakshi Daksha Rativallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Sakshadaritvena Samasta Shastrait Uktastatha Bhavyata Eva Shabdihi Kintu Prabhoya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado Yasya prasadat nagati kutopi ध्यायां स्तुवां तस्य यशस्त्रिसन्ध्यां वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्द ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Sitaram, 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 Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev.
Jai Ushnipada Brahmhamsa Pajaka Stota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace Aparachana Rinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBTPI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Ushnipada Brahmhamsa Pajaka Acharya Stota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Premise Koho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Shri Purushotma Chaitra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, समावृत भक्तवृंद की जय, हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralhad Alhad Daine. हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः चिलटङ्कानखालये चितो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंहो यत्तो यत्तो यामि ततो नरसिंह बाहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंह नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे नाखम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृगं केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे करकमलवरे दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृगा जवधृता नरहरिरूपा जगदीश हरे जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव भक्ति विघ्न विनाशक लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव भगवान की, भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे
नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः। नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः। राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो ये अभिलाषी, राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो ये अभिलाषी। जय तुम्हारा शरण लो तारा वंश पूर्ण हो, कृपा कोरी कोरो तारे वृंदावन वासी। मोरा ये अभिलाष विलास कुंज दियो वास, नयने हरि बो सदा युगल रूपरासी। ये निवेदन धारो सखीरानुगत कोरो, सेवाधिकार दिए कोरो निज दासी। दीन कृष्ण दासे को ये न मोरा होय। श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये न भाषी। राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये न भाषी। यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी। जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। वृंदाए तुलसी महारानी की जय। वृंदाए तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सचा विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवे सत्यवताय नमो नमः। श्री वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सचा विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवे सत्यवताय नमो नमः। श्री वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सचा कृष्ण भक्ति प्रति देवे सत्यवताय नमो नमः। वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय।
And make me your own maid servant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna prays. May I always swim in the love Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulasi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 fences in the matter of chanting holy name that should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of the demigods, Lord Shiva or Brahma, to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Veda literature or literature pursuant to Vedic version. 5. To consider the glory of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation of the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activity in the strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna one of the auspiciously chosen activities, offering the Veda, the fruity activities, karma, kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about glorious holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments even after standing so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee claims to Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer our most humble obeisances on all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just as I trees who can fulfill to everyone the full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Jeto Darpana Marjanam Pavamaha Davakni Nirvapanam Shriya Gairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Prunamita Swadanam Sarvatmasnapanam Paravijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudha Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadishi Tavakripa Bhagavam Mamapi Durudevami Disham Iha Janina Nurakaha Trinatapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadaharihi Na Thanam Na Chanam Na Sundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Jammani Jammanishvare Pavata Bhaktir Haituki Tavai Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Ham Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthita Turi Satesham Vichintaya Nayanam Garata Shrutaraya Vatanam Gata Rudaya Kira Pulakai Nichitam Mapurukada Tava Nama Krahane Bhavishati युगायितं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रविशायितं शून्यायितं जगत् सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्रीशवापादरतां पिन्नस्तु मां हतार्षणां मार्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा वितथातु लम्पतो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव न परः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टकम की जय Glory to Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which according to the heart of all the deaths accumulated for years, and the extinction fire of conditional life for repeated births and deaths. This Sankirtan movement is prime benediction of humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It is increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone grant all benediction human beings. Thus you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have vested all your transcendental energies. They are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, our kindness enables us to easily approach you by holy names, but I'm so unfortunate I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than straw in street. One should be more tall than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maranjananda Krishna, I'm your eternal servitor, yet somehow I fall into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me at once the Adam's your lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes bedecked with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name, while my voice choke up when it hurts my body stand under recitation of your name. O Govinda, feeling of separation, I'm content moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything, everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Shri Mangala Charanam prayers ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Litam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Desha Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhavin Namaha Madhuryojala Premadya Shri Rupa Nuga Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dina Darine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipalambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virpava Bhumistvam Nirdishta Sajana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarabhama Shri Jaganathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpa Tarupyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavne Pyo Vaishnave Pyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishin Namaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karna Sinto Dinabanto Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Sratoro Pangor Mamamanda Mater Gati Masarva Swapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vindadanya Kalpadumada Shimadra Nagara Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtaribi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasa Rasarambi Vamsiva Tatatastitaha Karsham Venu Suner Gopir Gopinatha Shiyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishvari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dhathara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Mangalacharna Prayers Ki Jai Shri Brahma Samhita Ki Jai Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadya Radya Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Satma Sukoppa Viksha Rakshariteshu Surabhi Rabi Palayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasam Pramasevyamanam Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venum Kavanantam Aravinda Dalaya Daksham Parhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kantarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Alola Chantakala Savanamare Vamshi Ranangadam Panayakiri Kalavilasam Shamam Tribanga Lalitam Yatapakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vritti Pashanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chimma Satujala Vigrahasya Govindam Hadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitam Achotam Anadi Mananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durabam Adurabam Atma Bhakta Govindam Hadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Pantastu Koti Shatavassara Samprakamyu Vayurathapi Manaso Munipangavaanam Sopyasti Yappapada Simya Vichinta Tatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ekopya Sarachayitum Jagatanta Kotim Yachakti Rasti Jagatanta Chayayatantaha Antantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yad Bhava Bhavita Diyo Manujasta Teva Samprapya Rupa Mahimasanayana Bhushaha Suktayam Eva Nikama Patitai Stuvanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ananda Chimma Rasa Patibhavitabis Tabiya Evan Jarupa Taya Kalabihi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhutto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Premanjana Churutha Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Hidayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundar Machintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtan Nana Vatara Makaro Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhava Parama Pumam Yo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Krishna, who knows Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful, he has eternal spiritual blissful body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and the prime cause of all causes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord who is adept in playing on his flute with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with a figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jewel ornaments, who who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shamasundara is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane extending over thousands of millions of years.
8. He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation, the millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All of the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore. I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas, by getting their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities, in the company of her confidants, Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form permeated and vitalized by her ever blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shamasundara, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts, with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna in the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Narasimha, Vamana, etc. as his subjective portions.
Brahma Samhita ki jai.
Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. Srinvatam swakata Krishna punya sravana kirtanaha hridayanta histau hi apatrani vidunoti suhratsatam nasta prayasva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayache chetayeter anavedam sitam satve prasidati evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथेश्चित्यन्ते सर्वसमस्याः क्षीयन्ते च कर्माणि दृष्टा एव आत्मनीश्वरे.
To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge as he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam, and from the devotees he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord.
By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his pure position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the signs of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of a samagram, understanding of the supreme absolute truth, personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotees in Krishna consciousness can one understand the signs of Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, Text 24. Tadasma saram hridayam vatedam yad grhyamanair मानैर्हरि नाम ध्येयै yana na vikriyetata yada vikaro netre jalam gatra ruheshu harsha tad asma saram is steel framed hridayam heart bata idam certainly that yat which grahyamanai in spite of chanting harinama the holy name of the Lord they by his concentration of the mind na does not vikriyeta change atha thus yada when vikara reaction netre in the eyes jalam tears gatre gatra ruheshu at the pores harshaha eruptions of ecstasy. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Certainly that heart is full steel framed which in spite of one's chanting the holy name of the Lord with concentration does not change when ecstasy takes place. Tears fill the eyes and the hair stand on end. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We should note with profit that in the first 3 chapters of the second canto, a gradual process of development of devotional service is being presented. In the first chapter, the first step in devotional service for God consciousness by the process of hearing and chanting has been stressed, and a gross conception of the personality of Godhead in his universal form for the beginners is recommended. By such a gross conception of God through the material manifestations of his energy, one is enabled to spiritualize the mind and the senses and gradually concentrate the mind upon Lord Vishnu, the Supreme, who is present as a super soul in every heart and everywhere, in every atom of the material universe. The system of Pancha Upasana, recommending 5 mental attitudes for the common man, is also enacted for this purpose, namely gradual development, worship of the superior that may be in the form of fire, electricity, the sun, the mass of living beings, the Lord Shiva, and at last the impersonal super soul, the partial representation of Lord Vishnu. They are all nicely described in the second chapter, but in the third chapter, further development is prescribed after one has actually reached the stage of Vishnu worship or pure devotional service, and the mature stage of Vishnu worship is suggested herein in relation to the change of heart. The whole process of spiritual culture is aimed at changing the heart of the living being in the matter of this eternal relation with the Supreme Lord as subordinate servant, which is his eternal constitutional position. So, with the progress of devotional service, the reaction of change in the heart is exhibited by gradual detachment from the sense of material enjoyment by a false sense of lording it over the world, and an increase in the attitude of rendering loving service to the Lord. Vidhi Bhakti or regulated devotional service by the limbs of the body, namely the eyes, the ears, the nose, the hands, and the legs, as already explained herein before, is now stressed here in relation to the mind, which is the impetus for all activities of the limbs of the body. It is expected by all means that by discharging regulated devotional service, one must manifest the change of heart. If there is no such change, the heart must be considered steel framed, for it is not melted even when there is chanting of the holy name of the Lord. We must always remember that hearing and chanting are the basic principles of discharging devotional duties, and if they are properly performed, there will follow the reactional ecstasy with signs of tears in the eyes and standing of the hairs on the body. These are natural consequences and are the preliminary symptoms of the bhava stage, which occurs before one reaches the perfectional stage of prema, love of God. If the reaction does not take place even after continuous hearing and chanting of the holy name of the Lord, it may be considered to be due to offenses only. That is the opinion of Sandarbha. In the beginning of chanting of the holy name of the Lord, if the devotee has not been very careful about evading the 10 kinds of offenses at the feet of the holy name, certainly the reaction of feelings of separation will not be visible but tears in the eyes and standing of the hair on end. The bhava stage is manifested by 8 transcendental symptoms, namely inertness, perspiration, standing of hairs on end, failing in the voice, trembling, paleness of the body, tears in the eyes, and finally trance. The Nectar of Devotion, a summary study of Srila Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, explains those symptoms and vividly describes other transcendental developments both in steady and accelerating manifestations. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura has very critically discussed all these bhava displays in connection with some unscrupulous neophytes imitating the above symptoms for cheap imprecision. Not only Vishwanatha Chakravarti but also Srila Rupa Goswami treated them very critically. Sometimes all the above 8 symptoms of ecstasy are imitated by the mundane devotees, Prakrita Sahajiyas, But the pseudo symptoms are at once detected when one sees the pseudo devotee addicted to so many forbidden things. Even though decorated with the signs of a devotee, a person addicted to smoking, drinking, or illegitimate sex with women cannot have all the above mentioned ecstatic symptoms. But it is seen that sometimes these symptoms are willfully imitated. For this reason, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti accuses the imitators of being stone hearted men. They are sometimes even affected by the reflection of such transcendental symptoms, yet, if they still do not give up the forbidden habits, then they are hopeless cases for transcendental realization. When Lord Chaitanya met Srila Ramananda Rai of Kavor on the bank of the Godavari, the Lord developed all these symptoms, but because of the presence of some non devotee Brahmins who were attendants of the Raya, the Lord suppressed these symptoms. So sometimes they are not visible even in the body of the first class devotee for certain circumstantial reasons. Therefore, real steady bhava is definitely displayed in the matter of cessation of material desires, shanti. Utilization of every moment in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, avyartha kalatvam, eagerness for glorifying the Lord constantly, nama ghana sada ruchi, attraction for living in the land of the Lord, pratis tad vasati stale, complete detachment from material happiness, virakti, and pridelessness, mana sunyata. One who has developed all these transcendental qualities is really possessed of the bhava stage, as distinguished from the stone-hearted imitator or mundane devotee. The whole process can be summarized as follows. The advanced devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord in a perfectly offenseless manner and is friendly to everyone can actually release the transcendental taste of glorifying the Lord. And the result of such realization is reflected in the cessation of all material desires, etc., as mentioned above. The neophytes, due to their being in the lower stage of devotional service, are invariably envious, so much so that they invent their own ways and means of devotional regulations without following the acharyas. As such, even if they make a show of constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord, they cannot release the transcendental taste of the holy name. Therefore, the show of tears in the eyes, trembling, perspiration, or unconsciousness, etc., is condemned. They can, however, get in touch with a pure devotee of the Lord and rectify their bad habits. Otherwise, they shall continue to be stone hearted and unfit for any treatment. A complete progressive march on the return path home back to Godhead will depend on the instructions of the revealed scriptures directed by a realized devotee.
Text 25. Atabidehi angamanonukulam prabhasase bhagavata pradana yadaha vaya sakiratma vidya visarado nripatim sadhu prishna. Ata, therefore, abidehi, please explain. Anga, O Sutta Uvacha. Mana, mind. Anukulam, favorably to our mentality. Prabhasa say, you do speak. Bhagavata, the great devotee. Pradana, the chief. Yat aha, what he spoke. Vayasaki, Sukadeva Goswami. Atma Vidya, transcendental knowledge. Vishara, the expert. Nripitim, unto the king. Sadhu, very good. Prishna, being asked. Translation. O Sutta Goswami, your words are pleasing to our minds. Please therefore explain to us as it was spoken by the great devotee Sukadeva Goswami, who was very expert in transcendental knowledge, and who spoke to Maharaj Parikshit upon being asked. Moreover, knowledge explained by the previous Acharya like Sukadeva Goswami and followed by the next like Sutta Goswami is always powerful transcendental knowledge, and it is therefore penetrating and useful to all submissive students. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second canto, third chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Pure Devotional Service, the Change of the Heart. No.
So, chapter 4, the process of creation. Sutta uvacha vayashakarati vachash tattva nishtayam atmana Admanaha upadarya matim Krishne Autareya Satim Vyadat.
Suta Vacha, Suta Goswami said, Vaiyasake of Sukadeva Goswami, iti thus Vacha speeches, Tattva Nishchayam, that which verifies the truth, Atmanaha in the self, Upadarya, just having realized, Matim, concentration of the mind, Krishna unto Lord Krishna, Avtareya, the son of Uttara, Satim, chaste, Vyadat, applied.
Translation. Suta Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, after hearing the speeches of Sukadeva Goswami, which were all about the truth of the self, applied his concentration faithfully upon Lord Krishna. Purport. The word satim is very significant. This means exciting, and chaste, resisting, and chaste. And both imports are perfectly applicable in the case of Maharaj Parikshit. The whole Vedic adventure is to draw one's attention entirely onto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna without any diversion. As instructed in the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, fortunately Maharaj Parikshit had already been attracted to the Lord from the very beginning of his body, in the womb of his mother. Though in the womb of his mother he was struck by the Brahmastra, atomic bomb released by Ashwatthama, but by the grace of the Lord he was saved from being burned by the fiery weapon. And since then the king continuously concentrated his mind upon Lord Krishna, which made him perfectly chaste in devotional. Why did I flip that? Devotional service. So by natural sequence, he was a chaste devotee of the Lord. And when he further heard from Srila Sukadeva Goswami that one should worship the Lord only and no one else, even though full of all desires or desireless, his natural affection for Krishna was strengthened. We have already discussed these topics. To become a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, two things are very much essential, namely, having a chance to be born in the family of a devotee and in having the blessings of a bona fide spiritual master. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Parikshit Maharaj had both opportunities. He was born in a family of such devotees as the Pandavas. And just to continue the dynasty of the Parikshits, of the Pandavas, and show them special favor, the Lord specifically saved Maharaj Parikshit, who later on, by the arrangement of the Lord, was cursed by the boy of a Brahmana, and was able to get the association of such a spiritual master as Sukadeva Goswami. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that a fortunate person, by the mercy of the spiritual master and Lord Krishna, achieves the path of devotional service. This was perfectly applicable in the case of Maharaj Parikshit. By way of being born in a family of devotees, he automatically came in touch with Krishna. And after being so contacted, he constantly remembered him. Consequently, Lord Krishna gave the king a further chance to development in devotional service by introducing him to Sukadeva Goswami. stalwart devotee of the Lord with perfect knowledge and self-realization. And by hearing from a bona fide spiritual master, he was perfectly able to concentrate his chaste mind further upon Lord Krishna, as a matter of course.
Text 2. I didn't do anything. Wait, stop it. Calm down. I didn't do anything. వాడా మిస్ అయ్యాడంట దానికి టెక్స్ట్ 2 ఆత్మజాయ సుతాగార పశుద్రవిణ బంధుషు రాజ్యే చావికలే నిత్యం విరుదం మమతాం జహౌ. Atma, body, Jaya, wife, Suta, son, Agara, palace, Pasu, horses and elephants, Dravina, treasury house, Bandhusu, unto friends and relatives, Rajye, in the kingdom, Cha, also, Avikale, without being disturbed, Nityam, constant, Virudam, deep-rooted, Mamatam, affinity, Jehov, gave up. Translation: Maharaja Parikshit, as a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna, was able to give up all deep-rooted affection for his personal body, his wife, his children, his palace, his animals like horses and elephants, his treasury house, his friends and relatives, and his undisputed kingdom. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. To become liberated means to become free from Dehatma Buddhi, the illusory attachment for personal bodily coverings and everything connected with the body, namely wife, children, and all other entanglements. One selects a wife for bodily comforts, and the result is children. For wife and children, one requires a dwelling place, and as such, a residential house is also necessary. Animals like horses, elephants, cows, and dogs are all household animals, and a householder has to keep them as household paraphernalia. In modern civilization, the horses and elephants have been replaced by cars and conveyances with the considerable horsepower. To maintain all the household affairs, one has to increase the bank balance and be careful about the treasury house in order to display the opulence of material assets. One has to keep good relations with friends and relatives, as well as become very here. You follow me? Here, this one. Become very careful about maintaining the status quo. This is called material civilization of material attachment. Devotion of the Lord Krishna means negation of all material attachment as detailed above. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaja Parikshit was awarded all material amenities and an undisputed kingdom in which to enjoy the undisturbed position of king. But by the grace of the Lord, he was able to give up all connections with material attachment. That is the position of a pure devotee. Maharaja Parikshit, due to his natural affection for Lord Krishna, as a devotee of the Lord, was always executing his royal duties on behalf of the Lord. And as a responsible king of the world, he was always careful to see that the influence of Kali would not enter his kingdom. A devotee of the Lord never thinks of his household paraphernalia as his own, but surrenders everything for the service of the Lord. Thereby, living entities under a devotee's care get the opportunity for God realization by the management of a devotee master. Attachment for household paraphernalia and for Lord Krishna go poorly together. One attachment is a path of darkness, and the other attachment is a path of light. Where there is light, there is no darkness. Where there is darkness, there is no light. But an expert devotee can turn everything to the path of light by an attitude of service to the Lord. And the best example here is the Pandavas. Maharaja Yudhishthira and householders like him can turn everything to light by dovetailing so-called material assets in the service of the Lord. But one who is not trained or is unable to turn everything to the service of the Lord, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe, must give up all material connections before he can be fit to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. Or in other words, one who has seriously heard Srimad Bhagavatam for even one day, like Maharaja Parikshit, from a fit personality like Sukadeva Goswami, may be able to lose all affinity for material things. There is no utility simply in imitating Maharaja Parikshit and hearing Bhagavatam from professional men, even for 700 years. To take Srimad Bhagavatam as a means of maintaining family expenditure is the grossest type of Namaparada offense at the feet of the Lord. Sarva Subha Kriya Samyam Api Pramadaha.
Canto 2, Chapter 4, text 3 to 4.
Prapachachevam evritam yanmam prichate satamaha Krishnanubhava Shravane Sradadano Mahamana Samstata Vijnana Sanyasya Karma Traivaryagam Kam Chayat Vasudeve Bhagavati Atma Bhavam Tididam Gata. Prapacha asks Cha also Imam this Eva exactly like Idam purpose yet that Mam unto me Prachata you are asking Satamaha, O great sages, Krishna Anubhava, wrapped in thought of Krishna, Shravane in hearing, Shraddhanaha, full of faith, Mahamanaha, the great soul, Samstatam, that Vijnana, being informed, Sanyasya, renouncing, Karma, fruit of activities, Traivargaikam, the three principles of religion, economic development and sense gratification. Cha, also, Yat, what it may be, Vasudevi, unto Lord Krishna, Bhagavati, the personality of Godhead, Atma Bhavan, attraction of love, Dridam, firmly fixed, Gataha, achieved. Translation. O great souls, O great sages, the great soul Maharaja Parikshit, constantly wrapped in thought of Lord Krishna, knowing well of his imminent death, renounced all sorts of fruitive activities, namely acts of religion, economic development, and sense gratification, and thus fixed himself firmly in his natural love for Krishna, and asked all these questions exactly as you are asking me. Purport. The three activities of religion, economic development, sense gratification, are generally attractive for conditioned souls and struggling for existence in the material world. Such regulated activities prescribed in the Vedas are called the karma kandya, conception of life, and householders are generally recommended to follow the rules just to enjoy material prosperity both in this life and in the next. Most people are attracted by such activities, even in the activities of the modern godless civilization. Such are more people are more concerned with economic development and sanskarification without any religious sentiments. As a emperor, as a great emperor of the world, Maharaja Parikshit had to observe such regulations of the Vedic world. Maharaja Parikshit has such regulations of the Vedic Karma Kandiyu section. But by his slight association with Sukadeva Goswami, he could perfectly understand the Lord Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, for whom he had a natural love since his birth, is everything. And thus he fixed his mind firmly upon him, renouncing all modes of Vedic karma kandiya activities. This perfection stage is attained by Jnani after many, many births. The Jnanis or the empiric philosophers endeavoring for liberation are thousands of times better than the fruit of workers. And out of hundreds of thousands of such Jnanis, one is liberated factually. And out of hundreds of thousands of such liberated persons, even one is rarely found who can firmly fix his mind unto the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, as declared by the Lord himself in the Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Maharaja Parikshit is specifically qualified with the word Mahamanaha, which puts him on an equal level with the Mahatmas described in Bhagavad Gita. In the later age also, there have been many Mahatmas of this type, and they also gave up all karma kandiya conceptions of life, so solely and wholly depending on the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, who is Lord Krishna himself, taught us in his Shishtastakam. Ashli Shiva Padratam Pinashtumam Adershanam Manmahatam Karotva Yata Tata Vavidatu Lampato Matpananatas Sayevanapala. Lord Krishna, who is the lover of many devotees, women, may embrace this fully surrendered maid servant or may trample me with his feet, or he may render me broken-hearted by not being present before me for a long duration of time. But he is nothing less than the absolute Lord of my heart. Srila Rupadeva Goswami spoke thus. Virachaya mai dandam deen bando dayamiva gatir ihana bhavata kachid anya mamasti nipatatu shatakoti nirbaram vavnavabaha tad api kila parayoda stuyate kachakena. O Lord of the poor, do what you like with me. Do what you like with me. Give me either mercy or punishment. But in this world I have none to look to accept your lordship. The Kartaka bird always pays for the cloud, regardless of whether it showers, rains, or those are thunderbolt. Srila Madhavendra Puri, the grand spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya, took leave of all karma kandiya oblations in the following words. Sandhya Vanda Paramastu. Sandhya Vandana Param Badram Astu Bhavato Bhoshana Tuya Namano Namo Bodeva Pitrascha Tarpana Vidau Naham Kshama Yatam Yatra Kvapi Nishadya Yadava Kulotamasya Kamsa Dvisa Smaram Agam Garamitad Alam Manye Kimanye Name. O my evening prayer, O my evening prayer, all good unto you. O my morning bath, I bid you goodbye. O demigods and forefathers, please excuse me. I am unable to perform any more offerings for your pleasure. Now I have decided to free myself from all reactions to sins simply by remembering anywhere and everywhere the great descendant of Yadu and the great enemy of Kamsa, Lord Krishna. I think that is sufficient for me. So what is the use of further endeavors? Srila Madhavendra Puri said further, Muktam Mamni Gadantu Niti Nipuna Brantam Muhur Vaidika Mandam Muktadara Sodara Unmatam Nirno Niveka Chatura Kamo Muhamadakam Govinda Padasparam. Let the sharp moralists accuse me of being illusioned. I do not mind. Experts in Vedic activities may slander me as being misled. Friends and relatives may call me frustrated. My brothers may call me a fool. The wealthy Mammonites may point out as mad. And the learned philosophers may assert that I am much too proud. Still, my mind does not budge an inch from the determination to serve the lotus feet of Govinda, though I be unable to do it. And also Prahlada Maharaja said, Dharma Kama iti Dharma Kama iti yobitas Trivaraga Ishka Trai Nayadamu Vivida Chavarta Manyetad etad akilam nigamasya satyam svata marpanam svasuhrida paramasya pumasya. Religion, economic development, and sense gratification are celebrated as the three means of attaining the path of salvation. Of these Iksha Trayi, specifically i.e. Knowledge of the self, knowledge of fruitive acts, and logic, and also politics and economics are different means of livelihood. All these are different subjects of Vedic education, and therefore I consider them temporary engagements. On the other hand, surrendering unto the Supreme Lord Vishnu is a factual gain in life, and I consider it the ultimate truth. The whole matter is concluded in the Bhagavad Gita to 2.41. As Vyasa as Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, or the absolute path of perfection. Sri Baladeva Vidyabhushana, a great Vaishnava scholar, defines this as a Bhagavad Acharana Rupaika Nikshama Karmabir Visuddha Chitta, accepting transcendental knowledge, service to the Lord, loving service to the Lord as a prime duty, free from future reaction. So Maharaj Parikshit was perfectly right when he firmly accepted the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, renouncing all karma kandiya conceptions of life.
Canto 2, Chapter 4, Text 5. Rajavacha Samichinam Vacho Brahman Sarvajnasya Tavanagha Tamo Vishiryate Mahyam Hare Kata Yatah Katam. Raja Uvacha, the king said, Samichinam, perfectly right. Vachaha, speeches. Brahman, O learned Brahmana. Sarvajnasya, one who knows all. Tava, your. Anagha, without any contamination. Tamah, the darkness of ignorance. Vishiryate, gradually disappearing. Mahyam, unto me. Hare, of the Lord. Katayataha, as you are speaking. Katam, topics. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit said, O learned Brahmana, you know everything because you are without material contamination. Therefore, whatever you have spoken to me appears perfectly right. Your speeches are gradually destroying the darkness of my ignorance, for you are narrating the topics of the Lord. Purport. The practical experience of Maharaj Parikshit is disclosed herein, revealing that transcendental topics of the Lord act like injections when received by the sincere devotee from a person who is perfectly uncontaminated by material tinges. In other words, reception of the messages of Srimad Bhagavatam from professional men heard by a Karmakandiya audience never acts miraculously as stated here. Devotional hearing of the messages of the Lord is not like hearing ordinary topics. Therefore, the action will be felt by the sincere hearer by experience of the gradual disappearance of ignorance. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite khatitahi artaha prakashante mahatmanaha. Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.23. When a hungry man is given food to eat, he feels satiation of hunger and the pleasure of dining simultaneously. Thus, he does not have to ask whether he was actually being fed or not. The crucial test of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is that one should get positive enlightenment by such an act.
Bhuya eva vivitsami bhagavan atmamayaya yatedam srijate vishvam durvibhaivyam adishvraya vishi. Bhuya, again. Eva, also. Vivitsami, I wish to learn. Bhagavan, personality of Godhead. Atma, personal. Mayaya, but then energies. Yata, as. Idam, this phenomenal world. Srijate, does create. Vishvam, universe. Durbhavyam, inconceivable. Adisvarai, by the great demigods. Translation. I beg to know from you how the personality of Godhead, by his personal energies, creates these phenomenal universes as they are, which are inconceivable even to the great demigods. Purport. In every inquisitive mind, the important question for the creation of the phenomenal world arises. Therefore, for a personality like Maharaj Parikshit, it was to know all the activities of the Lord from his spiritual master. Such an inquiry is not uncommon. For every unknown thing, we have to learn and inquire from learned personality. The question of creation is also one of these such inquiries to be made to the right person. The spiritual master, therefore, must be one who is Sarvagna, as stated herein before in connection with Sukadeva Goswami. Thus, all inquiries on God, which are unknown to the disciple, may be made from the qualified spiritual master. And here the practical example is set by Maharaj Parikshit. It was, however, already known to Maharaj Parikshit that everything we see is born out of the energy of the Lord, as we have all learned in the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Janma dasya yata. So Maharaj Parikshit wanted to know the process of creation. The origin of creation was known to him, or otherwise he would not have inquired how the personality of Godhead by his different energies created this phenomenal world. This common man also knows that creation is made by some creator. It is not created automatically. We have no experience in this practical world that a thing is created automatically. Foolish people say that the creative energy is independent and acts automatically as electrical energy works. But the intelligent man knows that even the electrical energy is generated by an expert engineer in the localized powerhouse. And thus the energy is distributed everywhere under the resident engineer's supervision. The Lord's supervision in connection with the creation is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 9.10. And it is clearly said that the material energy is a manifestation of many such energies of the Supreme. Parashaya Saktir Vivadaiva Shruyate. An experienced boy may be struck with wonder by seeing the impersonal actions of electrons or many other wonderful things conducted by electrical energy. But an experienced man knows behind the action is a living being who creates such energy. Similarly, the so-called scholars and philosophers of the world may by mental speculation present so many utopian theories about the personal creation of the universe. But an intelligent devotee of the Lord, by studying the Bhagavad Gita, can know that behind the creation is the hand of the Supreme Lord. Just as in the generating electrical powerhouse, there is a resident engineer. The research scholar finds out the cause and the effect of everything. But research scholars as great as Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and many other demigods are sometimes bewildered by seeing the wonderful creative energy of the Lord. So what to speak of the tiny mundane scholars dealing in many things? As there are differences in the living conditions of devoting the different planets of the universe, and as one planet is superior to other, the brains of the living entities in those respective planets are also of different categorical values. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, one can compare the long duration of life to the inhabitants of Brahma planet, which is inconceivable to the inhabitants of the planet Earth, to the categorical value of the brain of Brahmaji, which also inconceivable to any great scientist of this planet. With such high brain power, even Brahmaji is described in his great Samhita, Brahma Samhita 5.1 as follows. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vikraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is the supreme because none can excel him. He is a supreme person and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primeval Lord Govinda and the cause of all causes. Brahmaji admits Lord Krishna to be the supreme cause of all causes. But persons with tiny brains with this petty planet Earth think of the Lord as one of them. Thus, when the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita that he, Lord Krishna, is all in all, the speculative philosophers and the mundane wranglers deride him. And the Lord regretfully says, Avajanati Mamuda Manushim Tanu Ashritam Param Bhava Ajanato Mama Bhutat Maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme domination over all. BG 9.11. Brahma and Shiva, and what to speak of other demigods, are bhutas, or powerful created demigods who manage in universal affairs. Much like ministers appointed by a king. The ministers may be Ishwaras, or controllers, but the Supreme Lord is Maheshwara, or the creator of the controllers. Persons with a poor fund of knowledge do not know this, and therefore they have the audacity to deride them, because he comes before us by his causeless mercy, occasionally as a human being. The Lord is not like a human being. He is Sachit Ananda Vigraha, the absolute personality of Godhead. There is no difference between his body and his soul. He is both the power and the powerful. Maharaj Parikshit did not ask his spiritual master Sukdev Goswami to narrate the Lord Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. He wanted to hear first about the creation of the Lord. Sukadeva Goswami did not say that the king should hear about the direct transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The time was very short, and naturally Sukadeva Goswami could have gone directly to the 10th canto to make a shortcut of the whole thing, as generally done by the professional reciters. But neither the king nor the great speakers of Srimad Bhagavatam jumped up like the organizers of Bhagavatam. Both of them proceeded systematically, so that both future readers and hearers might take lessons from this example of the procedure of reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are in control of the external energy of the Lord, or in other words, those who are in the material world, must first of all know how the external energy of the Lord is working under the direction of the Supreme Personality.
And afterwards, one may try to enter into the activities of his internal energy. The mundaners are mostly worshippers of Durga Devi, the external energy of Krishna, but they do not know that Durga Devi is but the shadow energy of the Lord. Behind her astonishing display of material working is the direction of the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9.10. The Brahma Samhita affirms that Durga Shakti is working by the direction of Govinda, and without his sanction, and the powerful Durga Shakti cannot move even a blade of grass. Therefore, the neophyte devotee, instead of jumping at once to the platform of transcendental pastimes presented by the internal energy of the Lord, may know how great the Supreme Lord is by inquiring about the process of his creative energy. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, descriptions of the creative energy and the Lord's hand in it are explained, and the author of Chaitanya Charitamritam has warned the neophyte devotees to be seriously on guard against the pitfall of neglecting knowledge about Krishna in regard to how great he is. Only when one knows Lord Krishna's greatness can one firmly but once unflinching faith in him. Otherwise, like the common man, even the great leaders of men will mistake Lord Krishna for one of the many demigods, or a historical personality, or a myth only. The transcendental pastimes of the Lord in Vrindavana or even at Dwarka are relishable for persons who have already qualified themselves in advanced spiritual techniques, and the common man may be unable to attain to such a plane by the gradual process of service and enquiries, as we shall see in the behavior of Maharaj Parikshit.
Today we read up to Canto 2, Chapter 4, Text 6. We'll continue reading tomorrow. Gandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. We'll continue to Guru Puja. Shri Guru Cherana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Repeat. Sing. Bandhamui savadana mate Jehara prasadevai e bhava turiya jai. मैच में करता कृष्ण प्राप्ति होय जाहा ओते गुरुमुख पद्मावक्य चिते ते कोरिया क्या. नरना कोरियो मानी आशा श्री गुरु चेरानी रति ऐसे उत्तमा गति. ये प्रसादि पूरे सर्वा आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से विज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशा जाते. वेदे गाय जहारा चरितो सिंधु आदा माजे नारा बंधु लोकना लोके राजीवाना यह प्रभु कोरो दोया देहा मोरे पादा चाया. ये बेजास गुसुक त्रिभुवाना इला प्रभुपाद पतिता पावाना जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा. जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा. नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय Krishna prestaya bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Yiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Yadvaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.